here. Our next award is for a guy who I met in 1993 when I first moved to Milwaukee. And I was going to independent wrestling shows. And there was a tag team. That was really, really neat. Great babyface tag team. The Wave Riders. Craig and Mike. Great little babyface. I mean, Mike could throw the absolutely perfect drop kick. I mean, you know, maybe second only to Jim Brunzell. I mean, seriously, that's the truth. The other kid, boy, he had great fire, you know? Blonde-haired kid, like Ricky Morton, I guess you'd say. That's Craig. Where is he? Where'd he go? He's hiding? Oh, you're hiding back there.
He's not hiding.
And at the time, they were just working opening matches. And I was like, you know, you got something with these two kids here. You can really do something with them. They're just 150-pound jabronis. They're just kids, you know. And they're busting their ass, these kids, these guys. You know, setting up the ring, tearing it down, working for nothing. Well, I became friends with Craig. We go out drinking one night. Yeah, these are the stories you've been waiting for, right? These are the stories you've been waiting for. We go out drinking one night. And I got this wild idea at 3 o'clock in the morning as Craig and I are driving home. There's Wilson Park Stadium where Frankie and I are promoting the big Summer Sizzler show. It was the first one, too, with the Baron. 1993. And I said, Craig, would you jump off that backstop? And it was, I mean, seriously, I mean, 16 foot high. I mean, seriously. Was. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, I sure will. And he started climbing. I said, no, we gotta get out of here. 3 o'clock in the morning. That was before ECW. Before ECW Game Promise. That's before Seth Boo broke a friggin' table. That's before any big star jumped off a friggin' balcony. Craig was doing it. I took him to Germany. He was very green. This is 1995. He didn't know who he was going to wrestle on the tour. There are a lot of British wrestlers on the tour. Little shooters. Danny Boy Collins was one of them. He's wrestling Danny Boy. He says, who's Danny Boy Collins? I said, man, Danny Boy Collins, man, is like probably the greatest worker from England. I mean, unbelievable. So they work, and he got everything in that he wanted. But if he wasn't getting his shit in, he was getting the shit beat out of him. Oh, I mean, he gave Craig every spot that he called, but whoa, I mean, he got the shit beat out of him. And Danny Boy goes to throw him into the table. Craig slips, hits the corner of the table, the top of his head, big fucking gash. Bleeding profusely. Well, they ended up taking it home, you know, and we get back to the locker room. Craig is in the shower. And I said, Craig, you have to go get this stitch. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like this wide, for God's sake. You know, I mean, come on, you know? And he said, no, I don't want to miss anything, you know, because, you know, he doesn't want to miss a part of this experience that we're having there, you know? No, I don't want to go to the hospital. This is the thing. So I get the Dynamite Kid, who Craig met, you know, hours earlier. but Craig, of course, looked up to Dynamite a great deal. And Dynamite comes over, and I said, Tommy, what do you think of this gas on his head? He goes, you've got a on your head. You need stitches. He got the chance to wrestle the great Dynamite Kid in Hanover, Germany. Wow, what a thrill it was for me to be there managing Craig. The finish of the match, the ring was like 5 foot off the ground. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So when he got thrown over the top, he tried to reach his leg, his foot down to touch the floor. Well, there was no floor. So when he landed, you tore your whole hamstring, didn't you? Yeah. And he's laying on the floor. We have no idea what's going on. Tommy's looking at me, the ref, what's going on? And I go down, kid, are you all right? And I'm trying to get him up, and he's like, wow, he's in pain. I don't know what to do. So, well, I did know what to do. You have to stall, right? You have to stall. So I got up on the apron. Dynamite gave me a headbutt, gave me a snap suplex, and Craig was able to have enough time to crawl up on the apron. You got suplexed in, and then Tommy did his headbutt, I believe, on you, right?
I said, I'm not taking that goddamn snap suplex.
I consider Craig to be an innovator of the business. He did a lot of first things in wrestling, especially here in the Midwest. First guy to break a table was him. The first guy, come off the top. He put Eric Freedom through a table. Nobody ever saw that before. Sabu just started breaking tables in Japan. I thought, oh, what a cute idea. This is before the Dudleys and all that, And when we're talking about who we're going to give the Wrestler of the Year award to, Craig instantly comes to mind, because there's not a more respected wrestler in the locker room. There's no one like him that will take the time, that is very, very knowledgeable about the business, and that will help the new generation. Craig has gotten better through the years as a worker as well. I think you're at the best that you're at right now. And ladies and gentlemen, 2018 Wrestler of the Year, Hardcore, Craig Swan.
Wave Rider Craig!
Right now, in the Chicago area, there isn't a hotter tag team than Hardcore Impact. Hardcore Craig.
Extreme Dream Team.
Pauly, come on up here.
We want core. All right, thanks for coming out, everyone. I gotta say, the first time I met Craig was the time at a wrestling, and it was for Carmine. Carmine says, Paisan, I'm gonna put you in a tag team. I'm not gonna mention the guy's name because I'm sure 99% of you don't like him, so it doesn't matter anyways. But Carmine's our manager. I'm gonna put you in a little program. Oh yeah, great. I'm 20 years old, feeling great. Like, yeah, who's gonna be with Carmine? Corp and Hardcore Craig. Bye-bye. Yeah. See ya. So the first night, okay, we're here, we're gonna wrestle, meet them, everything's great. They pull me to the side, look, this is what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna get barbed wire. We're gonna get tables. Here's a razor. What is going on? No, I'm not doing this. I can't, no, sir, no. A couple matches go by. Craig, hey man, come here. Yeah, what, sir? What can I do for you? We're just talking with you, man. Come on. This is what we're gonna do now. Let's have some fun. He ripped me. First night ever. Scared out of my mind. And then working with Craig and Corp actually taught me a lot and taught me how to work a program and where to go and how to make things different each time we went out there, so it wasn't just the same cookie cutter BS that you see all the time. And then fast forward, 10 years later, we were asked to team some random promotion in Indiana. I think you guys would look good together. Cool, yeah, I'm down. I love Craig, no problem. And 5 years later, here we are. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this anymore. You made wrestling fun. You made it fun again. You made me love doing what I wanted to do when I first started. And we always joke around. Marty, Sean. Let's be honest, man, you're the real Sean on the team. I love you, buddy.
I'm not good at improv and anything. I wanted to make sure. I had a few. I just got points that I want to make sure I hit. So first off, thank you all for coming. You're the reason why I'm still doing this. My dad and his girlfriend Pauline came out. My wife and kids. My son's playing baseball right now, so they're not going to make it. But my brother's here. My punching bag. I practiced on him for years. And then my niece Brookie's here. So thank you all for coming, and I appreciate it. I started 28 years ago this December. And it's hard to believe that my first match was with Eric Freedom. And last night I actually got to lock horns with him again. So it's kind of weird that I'm up here 28 years later. There's still somebody else, as old as me in this business. I started with Johnny Stewart, broke me into the business. I know some of you might know who he is. And then I went on to finish my training with Tom Stone and Frankie DeFalco, who will be coming up here next. He's now a promoter, but he was working at the time, and he helped with a lot of my training and helped me, go to where I was going. Beat the shit out of me in Jake Milliman's yard when he had a ring set up. So it all went from that, from doing TV with Stone, and then Carmine stated, I laughed with Pauly back there as you're reading off your speech. I'm like, well, he's hitting half of my points. And I'm like, I should maybe not let you go on, because then Paulie's going to come up here because we think alike, and then he's going to hit all my other points and I'm going to have nothing to say. So it's good that you at least put me in the, in the middle here. So Carmine, with starting your promotion around me, that's on here. The next thing, going to Germany. Missing our flight on St. Patrick's Day. Most exciting time ever. I'm going to Germany. Carmine says, Dynamite Kid's on the tour, and I idolize the Dynamite Kid. He is the greatest worker there ever was. Yeah. Carmine says, you're probably going to end up working him. So, my wife, they screwed up on the tickets. Had to drive me to Milwaukee.
Oh, this is good, guys.
So I could fly back to Chicago for a 2.5-hour layover. I couldn't board in Chicago unless I boarded in Milwaukee.
I was flying out of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Fly with me.
Fuck stick. Yeah. Came up with a good story. So it's St. Patrick's Day, and I said, well, if I got a 2.5-hour layover with Carmine, I'm bringing some Rumpelmans. So we proceed to drink the whole bottle of Rumpelmans in the airport. And I said, Carmine, we really should get going. Oh, we got a half hour.
Right.
A half hour later, oh, we got a half hour. Oh my God, my watch stopped. So we, first flight to Germany, I'm like, oh my God, I just missed my flight. So we flew out the next morning, proceeded to drink all the way to Germany.
Wait a minute.
Got to our hotel, and the promoter brings us in, and he proceeds to just grab me in a drunken power slam through the bed, right in front of the promoter and Bernie Wright.
Right.
So yeah, when we sold 500 pictures the first night, we ruined it for everybody. But what a great time. And then yeah, the next one, you bringing Dynamite Kid into the shower. That's all on my points. Thanks for taking all this shit. Dynamite, you gotta come in. You got a fucking clunk on the top of your head. What? Why are you in here? So,
but you listened. You listened to Tommy, didn't you?
Yes, and then I got back. We were wasted by the time we got. I went back and we drank, and Tommy told me, he says, now that shows me you're one of the boys. That's what the boys do. You get fucked up, you get hurt, you come back and you hang with the boys. And for 2 weeks, we proceeded to tear Germany, and Austria up. Right. That was a great time. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. You deserve it.
So, and then Prazak, and it goes into Mid-American Wrestling. I started wrestling singles, and then Prazak was my manager. That was a great time. So it's cool to have not only Frank, but Dave Prazak, in this list of honorees. And then you hit with Paulie had to steal the Extreme Dream Team, and Corporal Robinson. Boy, that was a lot of fun with him. He's an animal.
Come on, dog.
Hey, Barfly. Hey, dog. Hey, just skip ahead. So yeah, oh yeah, where's Barfly?
Right here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Wave Rider. We don't have blonde hair anymore. We're not dumb enough to dye it blonde anymore.
Hey, shoot you
Or maybe we just have to shave it all off.
All he's missing are the gig marks, and he looked like you know who.
Oh man, that's a long one.
Yeah, that was. I know.
So unfortunately, like I said, my daughter couldn't be here because she's with my wife, and my son couldn't be here because he was playing baseball. So, but a lot of you know Luke, and I know he's gonna end up in this business too. I'm trying to keep working out, push myself long enough so he can end up in the, you know, in the gist of this wrestling. Yeah, I'm sorry, I skipped a page. See, this is why I wrote this, because there's Steve Stone. You remember, I'll just cut to my favorite part. I became American History Next with him, and you remember in the back with Hardcore Grandma with Eddie coming back and going, "You're not going to believe what this old lady in the front row said." And I went, "Holy shit, that was my grandma."
She was so much fun.
Yeah. As in partners turning on you, I got to go to Steve. You know, Frankie, I can't get colored tonight. I got a wedding tomorrow. All right, well, Steve just hit you with a chair and blah blah blah. Well, he chair shots me and lays the whole top of my head open. I'm pouring blood everywhere. Great turn, but I'm not going to spend 2.5 hours in the hospital so I don't get it stitched and then go to the wedding the next day. So thank you for that, Steve.
And then I had to ride you and your family home that night.
Yeah. And then as for partners turning, I'm waiting. Is anybody gonna like wheel out a here? Because I mean, it's just a matter of time before Pauly, you know, super kicks me and throws me through the window. Because yeah.
Can't use that one. It's not gimmick.
I know I'm the Marty.
Never.
Yeah, always.
You're both Martys.
So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. If it wasn't for all of you, I mean, this is why I do it. You know, we're all a big family, and I appreciate the guys that I'm working for now. I work at all the different promoters. There's Carmine here. You know, I got Frankie DeFalco, and I'm working for Mitch. And it's just, I'm glad everybody could just put, you know, I wish everybody would just put their shit aside, came together. This is what it's all about. So thank you very, very much for everything, and I appreciate it.